Okay, welcome everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 10th already, and we have two items to get through. We have a public hearing starting at 5:55 and then a regular board meeting at 6. So I'm opening the public hearing and notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of Canton will hold a public hearing for its regular board meeting on September 10th, 2025 at 5:55 PM at the Town Hall, 60 Main Street, Canton, New York, 13617, for the purpose of considering a local law to override the tax levy by the town of Canton, County of St. Lawrence, pursuant to General Municipal Law 3-C, and to allow the town of Canton, County of St. Lawrence, to adopt a town budget for town purposes, B, fire protection districts, and C, any other special or improvement district governed by the town board for the fiscal year of 2026 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by municipal law 3-C. A copy of the proposed law has been available for public inspection in the office of the town clerk and on the town's website located on our website. The public is invited to comment during the public hearing and to view or listen to the meeting via Zoom. So at this time, we are accepting public comment. This is a time for the board to listen. And we ask that you identify yourself and leave your comments to about 3 minutes to allow everybody to have an opportunity. So at this time, is there any public comment regarding this law?
Hi, I'm James Snyder. I've been in the assessment field for about 15 years. You scheduled 5 minutes, so I guess that leaves me and I'm 2/3 of a person. But I would just like to say a few things. One being the chargebacks that gets levied to town of Canton, which the assessor keys all of their own things except for sales, and this amounts to $3.85 per parcel, which is an amount of $15,311.45. Keying the sales takes about 2 minutes per sale. It's like really stupid, really, tell you the truth. The county has to key it on their side. They actually send you the file. All you do is import the file and boom, put it on there. It just takes a few minutes for each sale. And I understand this doesn't have anything to do with your budget, but it does have to do with chargebacks that's taken directly right from the taxpayers through their little line item called chargebacks on their property tax bill. We're the only town that has a full-time assessor that doesn't key their own sales. I just think that there's $15,000 right off the bat we could save there and save the taxpayers money through the chargebacks. A few things that I would mention that does have to do with our taxable value and property tax cap is I just browse over the assessment roll, just a few things pop out like real quick. There's a property located at 56 North Woods Road, where the one property owner passed away in 2020, another property owner passed away in 2022. They still have the basic star exemption on there, which is grandfathered in for properties prior to 2015. So for 2023, 24, and 25, this property still has a star exemption on it, which they shouldn't have. Anybody new with the ownership interest in that property should be on the star credit. The property is listed in an estate, so that kind of sends a red flag there. And this stuff does deal with property tax cap and revenue for the town. Another property located at 125 Old State Road. This property has a life use on it. The owner passed away in May of 2023. So for 2024, actually in 23, the estate downgraded them from an enhanced star to a basic star. That gives you a red flag that there's something going on there and that the state send notification in a star report to downgrade this. What's more concerning is this property still received a low income seniors exemption as well as a basic star for 2024 and 2025. Now, a low income senior exemption requires renewal each year. So I'm not sure how a person that passed away in 23 is still renewing their low income seniors exemption. So you know, I've worked in the assessment office. I'm not sure why we have a part-time assessor. I think that's a little bit overkill, and that's probably a cost savings that we could eliminate for the town. I knew it's a new position, but I handle way more parcels than what the town of Canton has, and I do it by myself. You know, the town of Messina has one assessor, they have 6,000 parcels, so they have 2,000 more parcels than what town of Canton does. They have one person and they keep their own sales. So just a few things that, you know, I just wanted to point out during this public comment to take a look at. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? I would just like to say that we have passed this law annually for the last 7 years as a stopgap in case we need to go over the 2% tax cap. So I would just like that for the record, Heidi. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be using it, but it is a cushion in case we do need to. So, okay. Any other public comment? With that being said, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Okay. I'm calling the regular meeting to order, and again, welcome to everybody. Hope you all had a good summer. First item on the agenda is 3 sets of minutes. The joint meeting, July 30th, regular meeting, August 13th, and a special meeting, August 26th. Everybody have a chance to look at those? Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Correspondence. We have 2 correspondence tonight. I sent the board this invitation from the First Presbyterian Church, Reverend Mike, and investigator Robert Larrabee from the New York State Police. We're invited to attend a rededication of the St. Lawrence County Peace Officers Memorial in the Canton Village Park on Saturday, September 20th at 10 a.m. There'll be a brief, excuse me, a brief program to unveil the addition of 2 names to the memorial. New York State Troopers Brent W. Martin of Macomb and First Sergeant Michael E. Snell from Parrishville each died as a result of their assignment to the World Trade Center site following the terrorist attacks on September 11th of 2001. So I have sent that to the board. We're invited to join that ceremony. The second item isn't so positive. I received an email from Tim Nolan, the village code enforcement officer, that he received from CSX. Saturday, September 20th, for an estimated duration of 3 to 6 days, the CSX transportation has scheduled an emergency rail repair to the crossing on Park Street in the village of Canton. So people need to be prepared for that. The Park Street will be closed from 3 to 6 days, starting on September 20th for an emergency repair of some sort. Okay, with that being said, town finances report. Hi, Angela.
Good evening. Received before the meeting were the finance reports for the month of August, the 8 months ended. When you review these, you'll see that this appropriations are happening in accordance with the budget in most cases. Personal services being your largest expense are appropriately budgeted for the year, as indicated. Some of the areas as we get closer to the end of the year that we are looking at from a revenue standpoint would be justice fees and mortgage tax in the A fund, permits in the B fund, and sales tax in the DB fund. So we're anxiously waiting for those revenues to come in concert with doing the budget work and assisting with that for 2026. We're working through the projections to kind of determine where fund balances might be in 75 year plan. Any questions? The cash position is also presented, and 80% of the cash belongs to the town of Canton, 20% set aside for special purpose. Moving to the town clerk's report, this was reconciled and balanced. Year to date, the town has, much like we've seen trending throughout the entire year, received less revenue this year, mainly due to permits. So there was really not a lot of change within the town clerk's report.
Heidi, do you have anything to add in your report?
Nope.
Okay. Board members, any other questions? Or any questions? Okay, thank you, Angela. Audit committee.
Townwide aid. $51,021 67 cents. Outside B, $8,781 71 cents. DA highway, $17,171 36 cents. Special fire, $4,588 83 cents. DB part-town highway, $16,210 50 cents. Trust and agency, $16,617 64 cents, and special lighting, $304 93 cents.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the expenditures? Is
So moved.
there a second?
Second.
All in,
Give it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried. Okay, department reports. Everybody has the department reports, and so we'll just go around and ask if there's any additions. Heidi, is there any additions to your report?
No, not really. The biggest thing happening in the town clerk's office right now, unfortunately, is the backlash that we are receiving because we are no longer collecting school taxes. It's unfortunate because it appears that there really wasn't communication that the taxes were going to be collected at the school. So unfortunately, Tasha and I are getting a lot of really upset people. But the biggest heart for me is because our elder community is coming in out of breath and now have to go back. We actually had a gentleman come here to pay their taxes. We sent him to the school and let them know what they're doing there. Literally came back to be upset with us because there was no parking for them or to get into the building. So it's been not fun for the clerk's office. But that's the biggest thing we're dealing with now besides, and then everything else, unless you have any questions on my report. But
Okay, anybody have any questions about Heidi's report? Okay, Stephen, would you like to go next?
Only thing I have to add is the paving we got approved for there last month on our repair projects. The blacktop plant has been booked right out through next week even, and we still haven't been able to get material yet. So kind of stalled out on that right now. That's about it.
You got a start date on the detour?
Last I heard for 310, you're asking? Last I'd heard from one of the state workers is that they're waiting for Liberty Utilities. They have to reroute an 8-inch main line, high pressure line. That's the one. And that's gotta be done before they can start the project, and they have no timeline of when that's gonna happen. Currently, and I spoke with them on Monday. Sorry, yesterday I spoke with
Cause the
them.
initial was it was supposed to be in first part of September.
End of August, beginning of September, they were gonna start. And be well underway by now, but he said currently they have no start time right now. He said that from what he understands, it's a process to do that particular line. They can't just put sharp elbows in, it has to take gradual bends and things, so. Probably once they do start, I don't know how long it takes, but he said they have no start date as of right now.
Push it. They'll push it underground, one of those machines that'll push the pipe.
I think the way he talked, it's steel, weld everything together tight. It's high pressure liquid line, he said.
Okay,
Oh, I had a question. You said you went for a ride with Slick. How anything update on that, how that went?
So I spoke with the contractor today, and I'd like to actually talk with Eric maybe after the meeting for a couple minutes. There's some concerns I have of how things are going. How we had kind of laid things out aren't quite exactly the way that things are looking up to be right now.
Let me know.
Okay, any other questions of Stephen? All right, thank you, Stephen. Mike?
Yes, Marion, a couple things, I didn't have in my report, but there's no information, but I'm working with the new owner of the old Bill's Auto there on Jameson Road. For the renovation of that old building. And, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'm working with, the developer of the U-Haul as they're gonna expand their business on US Highway 11 towards Potsdam. And if the board gives Mary Ann the okay to sign those resolutions, I'll issue the permit for Grassy Grove Solar for 310. I worked on that most of the month, collecting all the paperwork requirement, and those are the 2 last items I need to issue the permit. So that's it. Thank you, Mary Ann.
Are you able to, tell us who the new owners of Bill's is?
No, why not?
Yeah, why not? White's Farm Supply.
Which one?
Good news.
Very good news.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Will they be expanding the footprint of the current buildings out there?
No.
Or
As of
that's
right now, their plan is no.
Okay,
Do I believe they will? Yes.
okay. Great.
Because
And does that have to go through the planning board and the?
site plan does.
Okay. All right. Any other questions of Mike? All right, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Casey,
I don't have anything to add.
does anybody have any questions about Historia?
I don't have any question, but I have a comment. I really liked your speech for Brick Chapel.
Well, thank
I
you.
really like how you researched that.
No,
It's too bad you didn't get to present it. Yep.
Nice history up there. Okay. Again,
I just have 2 things to add. One thing, I thought it was my last month's report, but it wasn't because of the timing. Everybody's probably heard, we received a New York State grant. Municipal Parks and Recreation for almost $600,000. It's a 90-10 match, so it's a great ratio. It's gonna give our community a brand new splash pad, brand new basketball court, and a complete renovation of Buck Street Playground. So it's exciting to get that news. And then the other thing to add, which I just gave Heidi a packet, I forgot to include the community swim in our summer program summaries. So Heidi has the printouts that she can share with everybody. It basically just does our daily averages for each month, our total visitors, and I use Taylor Park in comparison, just so you kind of have numbers to look at. But it's really nice. We average in the month of August, we almost averaged 30 people per day, and that's only open 3 hours. So I'm an efficiency person, so average hours, so average visitors per hour using the Canton Central School was 6.3. The highest at Taylor Park was 2023 at 4.5 per hour. So it's nice that the community took a negative, turned it into a positive. We got a lot of positive feedback about using the school pool. I do have the question on the table for their facilities committee and also for their school board to see if we can at least get 1 day a week through the winter to have some pool hours, because it was so well received. It is difficult to arrange because the pool gets a lot of use between the girls swim team, the boys swim team, and the BOCES uses it, their PE uses it, so it's hard to find time, and because they need time to clean it and maintain it as well. So that is on the table for the school to try to find us a slot, because it was very well received. So it's nice to see, even though it was a negative, we turned it into a positive. So so I included that so you can see that as well. But happy to answer any questions.
You said you were actively accepting RFPs for the concession stand. I'm just curious, is there interest?
We do have an official
submission.
Okay, cause I know historically that's been hard to,
It's a nice submission.
oh,
I'll
good.
leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll meet about it when the closing with our rec committee. I've met with a couple individuals to walk through the concession stand and ask questions and stuff like that. So we have had at least one official
Okay,
offer.
that's good. I was worried about that.
And I'm pretty excited about that one, so we'll see where it goes.
Is that something new though? Didn't?
It is,
Run by
so-
volunteers in the past?
So Canton Meyer Hockey has run it for quite a long time for, they basically use it as a fundraiser. Basically they offset for the kids for scholarships and then, any extra funds they do, they typically do a donation back to the recreation department. They try to, one year they got $4,000 worth of brand new hockey nets for us. So, essentially they're just less volunteers, less numbers. It's become a headache for them more than a benefit. So their board elected to give it back to us. They haven't wiped the slate clean. They did say if we didn't get any offers that they would be more than willing to run it again for us to keep it open, but I'm excited to get an offer. It's nice. There's gonna be a little craziness with the transition because Canton Minor Hockey owns some equipment. We own some equipment, so our recreation committee will have fun.
As you two look at each other. I think that was a hint.
But it's, they're a great organization and, they help us out a lot, so they're trying to focus more on just focusing on the kids and not being a restaurant owner, so I don't blame them. And it's nice that we did get an official RFP and I'm pretty excited about that submission, so we'll see if we get some more.
Okay. So where are we at with the Department of Health and the beach?
So really it's out of Department of Health's hands right now. It's the DEC and Army Corps of Engineers. So I was able to complete half the application before summer programs. Everything gets paused during summer programs for obvious reasons. Right now I'm trying to finish up the last bit of it with, I have to do drawings, I have to do renderings, I have to do photos. And then once that entire application is complete, the landowner has to sign off on it before we submit. Because obviously we need their permission to, with everything that we submit, that they're okay with it.
So there's hope still there for remediation.
There's hope. We just gotta go through the process and luckily all the permits, either it's DEC, their average is a 3-year permit. Army Corps of Engineers, the average is a 5-year permit. So hopefully we can submit once and then just keep a nice working relationship going with them, so that way it's easier down the road. Cause it's a lot of new policies coming down and we just have to catch up and work with it and the best that we can.
Fun.
Very fun.
I did hear a lot of comments. What do you mean the beach isn't open? And
A lot of comments, a lot of people that didn't read the article and a lot of rumors about. Nasty stuff in the water that doesn't exist, so
Yeah.
it's just unfortunately. It's unfortunate for the beach, but the regulations came down the line for a reason. They haven't changed in a long time, so they're just playing catch up with the environment.
all right. Thank you, Megan. Hi, Lee. Hi. Anything to add to your report? Okay. Does anybody have any questions of Lee?
Just one, we were discussing this before the meeting amongst us. Have you heard anything about when Vent Beam might be getting ready to open?
I know that they were contacted about having an event there in October, which would have mean that they would have to start brewing like now, and they are not ready for that. I think they're very close. But I don't have an exact timeline. I think they're very close. I think it'll probably be late. I can find out and I'll get an update for you.
People have been asking, so I was just curious.
Amazing.
It looks great. It's beautiful space.
They need time to brew the beer and have it ready to, and that takes time after that. I'll get an update for you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lee. All right, Cindy, you're online?
Hi, good evening. I don't have much to add. I pretty much spelled it out in the report. Does anybody have any questions?
Anybody have any questions of Cindy? Okay, as you all know, Lorraine, was hired as a clerk a part-time clerk to the assessor's office. So, that is going very well. So we welcome Lorraine, to the team. Okay, did I miss anybody? Okay, thank you, Cindy. All right, I need a motion to accept, department reports.
So
Wayne, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, committee reports. Who would like to start?
or was supposed to have met. Yes, no, that got postponed.
Who? Jim?
Solar.
Solar.
You're not sitting next to me. You gotta speak up.
With EDF. Solar with
Exactly.
EDF.
It was actually a meeting with EDF, but they got postponed. We're trying to schedule another one.
Okay.
Communications technology did not meet. Building committee was supposed to have met, but did not meet.
Economic development,
Highway hasn't met.
highway hasn't met.
Economic development was in Lee's report.
Right, but the committee meetings are going on monthly, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right, okay. The sustainability,
Oh, go ahead. You can do that.
sustainability committee. The garden next door is having a few issues. So the sustainability committee is trying to address the issues. One being having enough volunteer helpers with watering. We know that the summer was pretty bad. The second issue is some of the dirt brought in contains some weeds that shouldn't have been there. So they're looking to how to remedy that and continue the educational program. So a couple of challenges, not having enough volunteers, and then, how to deal with the whole weed issue now. So they're looking to try to remedy that situation. So I did remind the committee that any further expenditures that they're looking for, they need to go to the building committee to discuss. There's some talk about covering up the beds with tarp. There's a lot of different options.
That might take care of the problem of the deer that are in it.
If the deer what?
That may take care of the problem of the deer that are in it if they covered it with tarp.
There's some type of weed in there that's not supposed to be in there or something. So
No, but the deer love it.
the deer love them.
Mhm.
Have you seen? I've only seen that one emaciated deer.
I've seen some
You've seen
deer in
some
there.
deer?
Yeah.
All right, wow.
Deer,
What's that?
The DPW scared them out in the morning when they watered the flowers.
Oh,
everybody claims the nicest bucks they've seen this year, but one up by the armory, there's one on Fair Lane, there's one up by the school.
I saw two up on Prairie Drive, Monday night.
Safe
There
haven.
was two six
Yeah.
horns and
We shoot these in the village.
Oh. There's no shooting.
No,
There was one other thing. on the
Bill
16th.
Mount Davis was the only one that did that, but that was passed.
Okay, that's sustainability committee. Any other committee
Yeah,
report?
Complete Streets met Monday. The big thing they have going on are the wayfinding signs for bikes and walkers from Taylor Park to Remington Trail. I just want to point out the fact that that funding for that was from the Canton Community Fund, paid for those signs. They're underway. There's discussions going on QR codes for identifying maps on the or URL. That's a work in progress. Right now they're looking maybe spring 2026 to look to get those up. So they're all set with the print shop, but there's just a few logistics that gotta be worked out, how it's gonna go. That's the big thing that they. From Monday, it's been a long, we discussed the walking Canton. And positions of possibly more sidewalks, that's something that we'll talk about. But that was one of our topics of discussion. Especially with the bus stop now, covered bus stop at the building on 310, the
Mhm.
county
Human
line 310.
services. Mhm.
A lot of people are walking down Judson Street. And there's concern that they're walking on the street with their suitcases and after they get dropped off, there's no sidewalks that way. And that's just a topic of discussion that we pointed out for a safety situation. And I think that's, and then we talked about walking in general and, basically that's where we were.
Okay. Any other committee reports? All right. Thank you, everybody, for your work for the month. Old business. We discussed this at our last meeting, the eco project, and the final product. I asked Mike to bring a sample. Well, that's not the sample. This is the village eco project binder. Mike, if you could hold that up. And this is this is what our goal is.
We'll get 5 of these
Mhm.
hard copies, and then the actual E-code will be on the town's website, managed by Heidi.
What do you say?
Managed by Heidi. Thank you.
Managed by Heidi.
Oh, okay, so you're done with it then, Mike?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
I'll take it, I'll give it back to her.
It's okay.
So, we signed a contract to start this process and get all of our codes, in a binder like this. And, there'll be, additional, costs in the 2026 budget, because every time you change a law and it's put in here and online and distributed, there is a little cost, and then we have the annual, maintenance fee as well. So there'll be a slight increase, proposed in the 2026 budget. So, but what we talked about last meeting is, Eric, and you and I spoke a little bit about this. We have to have you review everything, then we have to have a public hearing. It's like the zoning code all over, but I don't want it to be 5 years. So, and then, so we talked about having, the public hearing in October and then passing it in November. Or possibly in October if there's nothing to change, so, I was off by 1 month when we spoke about this, so. I think that's what is that what everybody remembers that we talked about? To set the public hearing for October, so.
Shorten my review time.
Okay.
On a document that is a little more than a read.
Mhm.
He doesn't have to review the entire document though, right? Just what we worked through.
72 questions.
How quick we did it.
There's like 72, 76 questions that we went through,
Yeah.
right? I think so.
Yeah, there was only I thought so. There's only 70 some questions that we actually dealt with, different than what the code was before.
And some we didn't even change.
I'm not saying you don't need the month, but I'm not applying that. But I'm saying you're not gonna have to, that's the thing as thick as that to go over, I don't think.
No,
Yeah, like, it's only 70 some questions.
Okay.
Not that, again.
and a lot of them we didn't change.
Right.
Yeah,
There's only maybe out of 76, 20
Oh, I don't remember.
20 actual language changes.
language.
Yeah.
But we've got to have an extension. We need a date. I think we need a date. And that's gonna be Eric's date. So, I mean, if he's saying that really needs to November, then there's no sense in, we'll Ask for it for November, but rather than October, so. I mean, you gotta feel comfortable, time wise.
Well, you know. If you wanna. You know, there's ways to hasten the review, right? And if you're saying, okay, we only changed 20 sections, we want you to only review the 20 sections. That would certainly take some of the pressure off rather than me, you know, spending
Because-
hours and hours trying to wade through that and figure out
What was
what's
changed,
been
what wasn't.
changed, what wasn't.
I think we have the documentation that was pretty specific about our changes,
Yeah, there was,
you know,
yeah, like.
we did that as a committee, we
they-
didn't vote.
They asked, you know, and
And I'm not saying that, again, I'm not implying that you need to get this done in October, but. Now, Molly.
Well, we have not responded, so we missed our deadline to respond to these guys back on September 4th. But we have not responded to them until we have set a public hearing date asking for the extension, because we don't want to go back and forth. With, we don't want to go back and forth. We want to give
You
them a
wanna give
date
them a hard
with,
date.
correct. And we've already missed the deadline for this process.
so they'll say, you know. See attached revision, do not revise. Defer decision until after code publication, and so most of them. Were checked, do not revise, and so it's those ones that see attached revisions now. I mean, one of them is just like, they had it in there that.
He was an
highway
elected official.
superintendent Was an appointed position, and so, yeah, we need to revise this because it's not an appointed, it's an elected position, so it's a simple thing. And so, but, yeah, and like I said, there's about 20 of them that we had to, what we felt needed revision.
Would it be helpful, Eric, if we took that document and extract the ones that need to be changed?
Think this hard stuff.
How are you gonna do
I
that?
think I got it,
I've got it
online, you got it, have it,
Yeah.
so.
I guess I'm looking for the scope of what you want, I mean. I took an initial look at it, and there's a substantial amount of work, just to wade through it and figure out what's been done, right? If you guys already have a handle on that, and you say, Eric, review these 20 sections, the language changes on these 20 sections, it would take the load off. You know, the time that I spend going through it a lot, right?
And so what? The committee went through, Mike and Heidi and Randy and I went through it. You know, 3 hours of going through it and did it, and now. Mary Ann wants the whole board to basically do the same thing again to do it, but. After you've put your stamp of approval on what we've done, so to date.
Okay.
And then some of the laws that we passed will not be reflected in that packet, like the dog licensing fees aren't gonna be, and it will still reflect the old ones because we had a cutoff to submit local laws for the, so when you're in there, if you see stuff about like dog licensing laws, it won't reflect what we just passed.
That'd be part of the fee that
Correct.
Mary Ann talked about, they'll have to change.
So would you like to go for October, or would you, November for?
Let me go back and take another look at the electronic stuff, I'll let you know tomorrow. Yeah, I'm a little reluctant to tell you I'm gonna get it done in 30 days when we originally talked about 60 and, you know.
Needs to be done right. Needs to be done right.
I mean.
It does, it
based on-
does, you
based on
know,
What
we-
they're saying, I may be able to get it done for October, but I'm a little hesitant to.
But then we have to get
Promise
the
that.
legal notice done, and then we have to have the draft and
Right.
that type of thing, so. I'm more comfortable, with November public hearing, and if it all goes well, we could pass it that night, and then, reach out to E-code, to extend the current agreement that we have. Or if we do say November, then we can contact E-code, and
Well-
let them know what's going on.
Well, once you set a public hearing date for the original one, we will contact them.
Yeah.
But then,
And see what they say, and, I mean, it's a conundrum, but.
I mean,
So-
we can inform them when we're gonna hold a public hearing, but if you have a lot of public come and question or it's not like it could potentially happen that month or even the following month, depending on, like you brought up the zoning, that took a lot longer than
Mhm.
expected, so
Because.
you never know if this is
language
gonna be the
like that.
same,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But once we set a public hearing, then we will notify general code.
So I make a motion that we set a public hearing for the E-code project changes for the November meeting at 5:45. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, comments, or questions?
No,
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye, carried. And, you know, Heidi, when you reach out to E-code, if they want to further discuss it with me, I'd be glad to talk to them too. We might have to extend the agreement, and there might be a little additional cost to that.
No, you can't,
Okay.
handed that over.
All right.
Yeah, you got
Thank
that.
you, everybody. The next item is Board of Assessment Review appointments. I need a motion to appoint Julie Parkman for a second term on the Board of Assessment Review for October 1st, effective October 1st of 25 to September 30th of 2030.
Yeah.
Is there a motion? I make the motion that we appoint Julie Parkman. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. The next item is, so Lance Rudiger, we need to, just for the record, there was a clerical error. We need to amend his oath of office, term, the end of his term to September 30th of 27. Heidi, is that correct?
Yeah, I made it, when I swore him in, I wrote the wrong date on it, so I just need him to come in and redo it and correct the end date. So as a clerical error on my part, and then I'll resubmit it back to the Board of, or not Board of Elections, County Clerk's Office.
And Lance was appointed to fill in someone's term, and to juggle all that, you know, when people leave, then somebody's gotta finish their term and then you reappoint them, so we're just putting that in the record regarding Lance, and we appreciate the Board of Assessment Review appointees for all their work that they do. All right, new business. First item is override of the tax cap law. Is there a motion to pass that law? Moved by John, is there a second?
Second.
Randy, any further discussion, questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye, carried. Okay, appointment of town assessor. Cindy Brand was appointed, and she's been with us 6 years, so it's time for reappointment. And I need a motion to reappoint Cindy Brand as town assessor for effective October 1st of 2025 to September 30th of 2031. This is a 6-year appointment by law, which my understanding that all assessors are appointed at this time. So I need a motion to that appointment.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Wayne. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. The next two items have to do with solar project number 6 or 7. So the Grassy Grove Solar project, there's 2 items. The pilot consent resolution, which you all have, we've signed 5 more. This one's a little bit different with the language on the back of this pilot. So in order to move forward with this project, Mike, can you just this is 28.6 acres of land. On a parcel of 92 acres.
Yeah.
So we've already received their escrow. So we need to consent to this pilot. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
It's aye.
Aye. Heidi, do we have to do a roll? Oh, we need to do a roll call vote according to this resolution.
Okay.
So can you do that, please?
John,
Aye.
Wayne, Marianne,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Randy.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. The next one is the host community benefit agreement between the town of Canton and Grassy Grove Solar East. And as we all remember, we've already done several of these to benefit the taxpayers through our local law to get additional funds for the town. So is there a motion to approve this host community benefit agreement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor, say aye.
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 Carried. We do not have to do a roll call on that one. Okay, so I'll sign those and we'll get those back to the IDA. And Mike will get you a copy so that we can move forward. And what's the building permit? Approximately the building permit for this project. What's the value of the project?
We've already got the check, 50,000,
50,000.
sitting in the safe.
Mike, what's the value of the entire project?
The value,
The value, because
well, construction cost was 8 million or something.
8 million, and the building permit you already received for 50,000.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so, that's a good thing. There was one, project though, I think that, withdrew, and we did budget to get that building permit revenue, and we probably won't reach that targeted amount, so, and I need to remind the board that next year's budget will not have these building permits in it. So we budgeted $90,000. So that's gonna be lost revenue for next year. So I just wanna make sure everybody knows that. Okay, the next item is we do have a position, a seat open on the zoning board of appeals. Dan Suye, I would like to publicly thank him for his service, in serving, but he didn't want to continue. And so, if anyone's interested in serving on the Board of Appeals, there is a process and can contact me. Okay, the next item is professional services agreement with Duncan Weinberg, Genser, and Pembroke. This has to do with the Pirates hydroelectric relicensing project that we've been working on for 6 years. It's a 40-year relicensing deal between FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and Pirates Hydro. So I'm not sure, Wayne, I don't know that you were on here when we started this. So because of the level that we needed help with, there was a youth recreation commission. Pirates Hydro was giving annual funds to provide recreation services up there. That was discontinued and the relicensing has come up. So the town board at the time wanted to see if we could get that revenue directly to the town so that we can inject it back up into Pirates for enhancement of recreation services. The best we got out of it after, thank you, Eric, for recommending this firm out of Washington, DC. Because this is at the federal level, we did contract with Duncan Weinberg to represent us, and it took a long time. We weren't successful in getting the funding. However, we were successful in them agreeing to do a recreational management plan in the Pirates area to enhance the community up there. So we got the actual recreation management plan, but we only had a short window to comment on it. So our waterfront advisory committee reviewed it. I spoke with Tom Langdon, and he was the chair of the waterfront advisory committee. There really wasn't any comments to that, but we needed to really look at this. So this is a retroactive agreement that I polled the board that we enter into an agreement with Duncan Weinberg to review this draft plan. They reviewed it. and they had, some things to say. I have heard from a couple community members, as well. So, today I submitted the comments, because they were due tomorrow. I did ask for an extension, actually. I didn't feel 12 days was adequate, but, so, we submitted the comments that the licensee will develop, not use the word is proposing to, but will change the words proposing to will. Because through the process, that's what I believe they said they would do. The other comments were, respectfully request that the Pirates Hydro install a dry hydrant for the Pirates Volunteer Fire Department. And the other one was to possibly lease some private land from a private owner of what used to be the park, to maybe get that going again. So those were the comments that we submitted. The board has already approved this agreement, but I want to go on record with an official vote. I did sign this on 8/22 because we needed their services. So, do I need a formal vote to do this retroactively? So I need a motion to retroactively approve this agreement.
So moved.
Randy, second? Wayne, any questions? Now, in speaking with, and reading, emails from Kevin Webb, he did say that we can continue to submit comments. But they had a deadline of, Friday to send it to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, so. Okay, did I take a vote? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye, carried, okay. Okay, we need to set a budget work session. So the preliminary, dates that, were part of the budget calendar have already been out, but, I would really like to do this during the day. Have a budget work session during the day, so that Angela can join us, and, it's more convenient for us. So, Heidi, you indicated that the 30th is not a good day. Okay, so the original date that we set, was September 23rd. I'm pretty close to having a balanced budget to propose. It's been a little challenging, as far as, some structures that we needed to change. So I'm hoping to have your binders to you with a tentative budget by the end of next week. That is my hope. There is no guarantee. Okay, so then our first budget session is just to, go through my budget messages and show you the changes. But I do have to say, we are losing revenue. So we have to look at that. So we tentatively set September 23rd, but it might be even more helpful if everybody's in agreement and available to do the 29th.
Not me.
What time?
I'm gone from 24th,
Oh, geez. Oh, here, you're gone, you're on a boat.
yeah, to the 5th.
Okay,
It's an empty week, I had scheduled vacations.
what's that, Randy?
I said it was an empty week, I had to schedule a vacation during that week.
Heidi, what's your 25th? Do you have your calendar?
I leave on the 24th.
Never mind, Heidi. Do we want to shoot for the 23rd? Okay, what time on the 23rd? Are you around in the daytime, Brandy?
I'm around, yeah, as a matter of
You're not
fact.
gonna be packing? I know you work during the day too, Wayne, so, you could probably get away. Angela, how's your schedule with that?
Anytime in the afternoon.
In the afternoon? Okay. How's 2 o'clock on the 23rd for everybody?
Instead of 6?
Yeah. It's a working session,
Sure, yeah.
okay. So do we have to have a motion for that, to set that? So we'll set a budget working move that we set a budget working session for the 23rd at 2:00. There's a second.
I'll second it. I'll be here then.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, it is my hope that you'll have your binders before that meeting. Okay, great, thank you. My agenda now.
I know. I know.
Okay.
Never fished in my life.
The next item on the agenda is public comment. Again, this is a time for us to listen. If you could identify yourself and limit yourself to 3 minutes so everybody can have an opportunity to speak, we'd appreciate that. So is there any public comment?
Yes. My name is Barbara Rogers and I live at 989 Minor Street Road in the town of Canton. And I would like to say thank you for bringing high-speed internet to our internet desert neighborhood. I have asked about this at previous board meetings and I've been assured by some people that it's coming, to be patient. And it's been 21 years and I'm really thrilled that Slick is going to be coming to our neighborhood. They've been busy working and it sounds like from tonight's meeting, there might be some hitches in how the work is progressing. I have to say, my neighbors and myself are ecstatic that we are finally getting broadband internet. We can actually join a Zoom meeting someday. We will someday, not now, but someday, soon, I hope. And so I wanted to say thank you. It's been a long wait and I hope it's been worth it. So I hope the hitches in this get along are small ones and that Slick can arrive soon at our house.
Well, thank you for that thinking.
Pleasure.
Few and far between, but it takes
Yeah.
time. Yes, okay, great. All right, anybody else? Public comment? Dakota?
Go to Casualty, Town of Canton resident, day job, Slick Fiber telecom engineer. And today I was informed from our contractor about conversations and concerns that Supervisor Smith had with some of the recent build. And just want to express that whatever we can do, Slick Fiber and our contractor tradesmen, we're willing to do to make those amends, fix what needs to be fixed. Want to share that and to Barb's points, hopefully those lights are turned on by the end of this year or before. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
So I share with you.
If only we could wrap it up.
The underground portion has been progressing fairly well. We still have the aerial portion to do. Town board, Supervisor Smith, anybody else, and you have my phone number, my email. Live here in the town, easily accessible. Questions, glad to answer, glad to help.
Okay, thank you, Dakota. Did you have public comment?
Just a quick thing to add to the Pirates Hydro Dam. I was waiting to see kind of what was gonna be discussed about. Obviously, we maintain it in quotation marks out there. It sounds like that plan is gonna take a little time. If we could maybe nicely convince Pirate Hydro, since they own the property, to clear the ramp from the flooding issues last summer, that would be great. Because my department does not have resources to do that, and I've been patient to see what was gonna happen with this. So if we could politely ask them to remove that, that would be great. There's a lot of people in the community that depend on that watering hole. I grew up going to that watering hole, and it's very important, so if people, a company of their resources, they could have that cleared in 10 minutes, and it would be nice if they could at least clear it. It'd be nice.
You're talking about the gorge there.
Yeah, the Pirates boat launch, yeah, full logs still from.
It's a hot mess.
Oh, it is,
There's no doubt about it.
and it is, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, because it's just a little Pirates community, but a lot of people that depend on that. So it would be nice if just a polite ask, maybe that they could just go down and clear it, so people can get down there easily.
That's a good idea.
I know there is one community member in a wheelchair that depends on that to cool off in the summertime, so it would be nice.
And Katrina Hem
Yep.
did reach out to me as well about the Pirates boat launch, and part of that plan is for them to take back the maintenance of it. The grant was Pirates Hydro leased the land to the town at the time. And there was, I think, a side agreement that the town would maintain it. The Waterfront Advisory Committee has tried to address it. We don't have the resources. It's not the responsibility of the Highway Department or the Recreation Department. So this is, to me, that's a positive that they're gonna be taking that back over. How long this takes as far as the plan? It's taking 5 years to get that.
That would be nice if we could just at least get them to clear it, just so people can at least comfortably walk down there.
I agree with you. So, does the board have a problem with me reaching out to Kevin Webb to request that they start cleaning that up now?
Not the least.
Okay. Any other public comment?
I just had something. I'm James Snyder. I live outside the hamlet of Firedees, so I'm very familiar. I'm in the Firedees Fire Department as well. The last couple of years, I served as a secretary there. The gorge, yeah, I mean, it does need a little gravel too. They had a plank going down where the gravel had washed out. So not only the trees that need to be removed from the flooding, but also a little gravel on that trail, because I can't imagine putting a wheelchair down, you know, at first they had a plank there and then everybody kind of just, you know, just walked down. And so I think it needs a little gravel as well for the trail. Also with, the proposal of the little, park there, the water from the bridge does constrict quite a bit there and creates, an awful, forceful rapids. I can't imagine anybody getting past that bridge, at least until like probably midsummer. So it was kind of an odd spot for where the launch is gonna be, you know, as far as how that works out. You know, I don't know if they plan on like just swimming or have the boat launch or whatever, but you know, it's kind of like the joke in the community is there's no way they'll get past that bridge, you know, when that water constricts. It does put quite some force there. During the summer, they obviously they've had a couple floats from Harts Falls down to the fire department, which works out okay, you know, but in springtime when the water level's high, that does create quite a bit of force through that bridge. Just my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, we've tried over the years. I remember when I was mayor, I sat on the waterfront committee and, you know, tried to maintain it with gravel and the flooding and just the whole hot water situation. In my view, it would be nice if there was a boardwalk added where the trail is the boardwalk down there. So, all right, we'll see what we can do. All right, any other public comment? All right, thank you, everybody. I'm making a motion to go into executive session to talk about labor contract negotiations and litigation. Is there a second? I know y'all want to go home, but second by Jim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carry. All right, thank you, everybody.
Mhm.